One man considers one day more sacred than another. Another considers every day alike. Each one should be fully convinced in his own mind. He who regards one day as special does so to the Lord. He who eats meat eats to the Lord, for he gives thanks to God. And he who abstains does so to the Lord and gives thanks to God. For none of us lives to himself alone, and none of us dies to himself alone. If we live to the Lord. If we die to the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. Romans 14:5-8. This is how I see it. It can be dangerously interpreted. On the one hand, it can be seen as a clarification statement of personal perspectives and nothing more. On the other hand, it can be seen as an authoritative statement with the implication that their view is always the right one. Looking back, you may have seen similar statements made by myself, but understand that it is my perspective, and it is my hope that you would review, compare, and, if necessary, challenge my perspective and my words. If I or any other states anything that is against the Word of God, then those statements need to be corrected. The reason I say this is because some have the inclination that one day should be exalted over another day. Some religions proclaim the holiness of a particular day and seem to excuse behavior during those other days. On the flip side, you would have those believe that every day of the week should be lifted up to God and condemn those who limit their worship to one day only. Is either right, or is it possible that both have solid footing? The day of the week is not as important as the condition of the heart. If someone uses the one-day week argument in order to justify sinful behavior, then their belief is not out of conviction but out of rebellion. If one uses the every day the same argument to belittle another's faith, then their belief is not out of conviction but out of condemnation. Whether you are a Saturday, Sunday, or Wednesday night only kind of believer, you should not be looked down upon by those who worship only on days ending in Y. If you worship on Saturday, don't condemn those who worship on Sunday. If you are a carnivore, don't growl at those who are vegans. If you are a strict vegetarian, do not condemn those who eat all sorts of food. It is their heart, not their plate, that God is interested. How do you see things? Are you a weekend Christian or a through-the-week believer? How do you perceive the correlation between eating meat and eating vegetable? How do you live for God instead of for yourself?